What we're going to be doing today is comparing coupons, specials like deals. So it's super easy. It's the math again is not what's difficult. It's just I want to be sensible as I work through problems to just understand when I'm getting a good deal and when I'm getting a bad deal. Uh, so you could use this if you were like ordering a pizza and you had one coupon that said like you had a gift card for like $10 off, and then you had another coupon that was like 25% off. Then you kind of got to say, well, where am I going to get the best bang? So that's kind of the mission for the day, is to see which is the better deal. So just a couple of examples. So comparing coupons is what we would call this, or comparing, let's call them coupons. So for my first example, and like I said, I really do only have two, actually like 2.5, because the second one I want to extend a little bit. So let's say you've got a coupon in one hand that is 20% off any item in a store. And you've got another coupon, and you can only obviously use one, right? If you could use them both, then this whole lesson is pointless. So you have to pick one. One is $20, one is 20% off, and the other is just straight up $10 off. That's a really important distinction there, that in one of them you're taking a percentage portion, and in the other you're just taking a defined portion, like, right? And so what do you think is a determining factor when comparing coupons like this?
Right.
Right. And so you have to think about, bless you, that we learn throughout today, and it won't take long to figure out that there's like a break even point with coupons where, like, if something costs a lot, like a lot, which coupon would be better? The 20% coupon is going to be huge. Like if you bought a refrigerator that cost $1,000, what's 20% of $1,000? It's 200 bones, right? So like if you use that coupon on a large item, you save 200 bucks. But if it's just a little item, like you're just going to order like a $12 pizza, then obviously the $10 is better, because that knocks the price straight up down to 2. And I'm not going to go into the algebra of this with you, of like where to find the break even point. You don't want that. And unless you do, we can do it. But like there is a point at which the coupons behave identical. And that's just a simple algebra equation that you'd have to write if you wanted to do that. But we're just going to study which one's better. As long as you understand realistically that you'd want to save the 20% off generally for things that are larger, but let's find out. So let's say you're going to buy something in a store and it costs $54. So how are we going to make, because this, I mean, if it's obvious, then you just pick one. Like I said, if it was a $1,000 refrigerator, for God's sake, pick the 20% off coupon. You're going to save a ton. 20% of $1,000 is a lot, right? But this is kind of in that middle area where it's like it could go either way. So what's a good strategy for us? Right. Compare apples to apples. Let's get a dollar. Let's put a face with the name. So I want to know the answer to the question, what is 20% of 54? And so that's a skill that we should know by now, is to type, unless you know how to use the percent button on your calculator, I would just always safely put 20% in as 0.2. Remember, don't do 0.02. That's too small. We multiply. So we're going to take 0.2 and we're going to multiply it by 54. And that's going to be $10.80. So if we use the 20% off coupon, we will save $10.80. If we give them our $10 gift card off thing, whatever you want to call it, then we save $10. So
by definition, you're saving more with 20% off because you get that 40 cents.
The 80 cents. You get 80 extra cents off. Yeah. So the question for us repeatedly today is going to be, which is the better coupon to use? And so in this case, the 20% off is the one that we would use. Now, if I took this problem and I modified it and I dropped this $54 item, let's rework this. And then I want to kind of do the second one twice also. Let's drop that $54 item down to a $35 item. Let's say just like a shirt or something that you got your eye on, or a pair of pants or something, 35 bucks. So again, the question is, what is 20% of $35? So $7, right? So if I went with if I walk up to the cash register and I give them my 20% off coupon, I would be saving $7. But then in my other pocket, I've got this one that's $10, and I would have to ask myself, like, why did I play my cards that way? I should have saved the 20% for that big purchase. So in this case, I would use the $10. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's do one more, and then I'll let you work. And that's it. And then I'm sure Micah and Aiden will get it done in about 4 minutes. And Micah will say, and I quote, "What do you want us to do when we're done?" And what will I say? Nothing. Well, just because we do this every day, Micah's on a mission from God. So let me see how quick I can get this done, so I get back to my TikToks. All right, so one coupon is 35% off. And you have another coupon that is $50 off any item over $100. You've seen those before. It happens all the time. People put out coupons all the time. You know, fast food restaurants have them. Restaurants have them, like $5 off any purchase of $20 or more. That happens like all the time. You'll see those in the mail pack and all that. We don't know that yet. So that's the first price we're going to use is 121 bucks. 121. Sorry, I'm mumbling. So our question again is, which one's the better coupon? 50 bucks off is always pretty tantalizing, if you ask me. I mean, that's a lot. That's a big portion of 121. But to answer this again, apples to apples, we really need to do the percent. So I'm going to take 0.35 and I'm going to multiply it by 121. That will tell me how much I would save if I use the coupon on the left. $50 off. Right. If I go the percent off route of 121, I will save $42.35, which I got to be honest is still pretty good. That's really good. But if I go with just the straight up $50 off voucher or whatever, obviously that's better, right? So you probably know where I'm headed with this, but again, like we talked about earlier, it's all dependent upon the price. What a price is greatly affects what's a better value, a percent coupon or a straight up cash coupon. So this time let's bump it to $150. So again, we just need to know what is 35. Knowing how to find 35% of something, I hope you take that with you as a life skill. I hope you leave Burns High School and that's just a skill that you always have. That's a fundamental human necessity to be able to calculate percentages. So I'm going to always just remember, have a calculator handy if you'd like. 0.35, we're going to multiply it by 150. 52. And this time I saved $52.50. So of course you knew that this is exactly where this example was headed. This time, because the price of the item went up, then 35% means more than it did before, right? So in this case, this item, I would pick the percent coupon, save the 50 bucks for something else. Got it? So there are two IXL skills that are really honestly the same skill, but more practice, the better. So I don't think you'll find either one of them to be easier necessarily or harder, but here they are. Write them down if you'd be so kind. In my very best handwriting, one of them is QT6, and the other one is Walter, Larry, Zach. Got it? So hopefully you're keeping up with all your IXLs. I hope they're not starting to snowball where you're like at 34 on this one and 12 on this one. We really want to try to stay to where every day we're through, like keep them up high. So all we have is cleanup work to do. But that is what you're doing today. And that is all. There is nothing else.
That's all by Genesis.
Huh. Is that a song by Genesis?
I think. Let me pull up the data off song.